So yeah, it's Poe and Rey and Finn, and they go off on the ship to find Chewie. They tell all the droids to stay behind.
Oh, that's right.
They tell them all to stay behind. So they go off, and like almost immediately, Rey is like, "Ooh, you guys go ahead. I gotta go look over here for something." Because she's like, I think she picks up on the dagger. I gotta go get the dagger.
Not before she does the mind trick on those two.
They run into a couple stormtroopers. I really want to know who these guys are. It's got to be celebrity cameos.
Jason Sudeikis.
No, I want to know who.
He's dead.
His acting days are over.
You're actually glad to see us. Ooh, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah,
you're relieved to see us. Oh man,
I'm
so great. Yeah, I want to know who those guys are. But anyway, and it was funny because when she does it, Poe goes, "You think she does that to us?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, most likely.
Man, glad you're here.
So glad you're here. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, she breaks off. She's like, "You go find Chewie, and I gotta find this dagger." So she goes into Kylo Ren's apartment and starts snooping around, and she finds Chewie's gun and his bandolier and the knife. And this is where she picks the knife up, and she gets the full vision, right, of her parents and shit.
Yes.
I think this is where she starts to get visions of the ship.
Does she touch the Vader mask too?
She sees it over there, but I don't think she touches it.
She doesn't touch it. She just sees it.
Because that's the thing that falls where
I think.
Yes, they knock it over when they're fighting, but she's looking at the dagger right now.
I think she just gets a vision of like the ship going away, maybe her parents, and then.
Well, I mean, we get that little snippet where you see her mom, and her mom goes, "Well, she's not on Jakku."
That's when Kylo's talking to her, though.
But that's coming up, though, right here, isn't it?
Coming up, yeah. So, I think in this initial one, though, it's just like the ship.
So anyway, yeah. So she sees it, blah blah blah, and we go back. So Kylo's down on the planet looking for them because the Knights of Ren trailed him there, and they're like, "We can't find her." And he's like, "Well, search the whole goddamn city again, motherfuckers, until you find her." And at that point, I guess he reaches out to her to see where she's at, and they start talking again. But this time, like, she pulls out her lightsaber and shit. She's pissed or whatever. What?
One of them is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Is it? Okay. The short one.
Supposedly.
Okay. So this time she's pissy, and they can actually fight with lightsabers in their vision. Okay. So they're fighting, and he's telling her, God, I don't remember. These fucking lightsaber conversations, I don't remember a single fucking thing they say to each other. But at some point when they're fighting, they knock the helmet over, and it hits the ground. And because sometimes you can see little bits, he sees the mask, and he goes, "Oh, that's where you are." And he says something like, "You don't know the whole story."
Yeah.
I'll come tell you.
I'll come tell you. And he breaks off, and she's like, "Shit."
Yeah.
So
I done fucked up.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh hell."
I'll come tell
Kylo Ren has left the party.
So these two, Poe and
Disconnected
Finn,
from Xbox Live.
they find Chewie and they break him out and they get some blasters and they're running around shooting people, and then they get caught. Of course. Again, they get caught. So they take him to General Pride, this new fucking guy we haven't even mentioned because who gives a shit? He's just another dude in a fucking outfit. And, Pride's like, "Oh, yeah, take him away and terminate him. Don't do it here. Take him somewhere." So you can walk down another hall and there's a chance for them to escape. So they go down into another room and they're going to shoot him. And Hux is like, "No, give me your blaster. I want to do this myself." And they do the misdirect where you look at them and you hear the blast shots and you turn around. Hux killed them and he's like, "I'm the spy." Dum dum dum. Okay. So
What?
yeah.
Well, I don't say how that could affect any. What?
So these guys, he takes them to the Falcon, okay? And are they like, "Where's Rey? Where's Rey? Where's Rey?"
There she is. She's a survivor.
They just go to the Falcon, okay? But she goes back to Ochi's ship, okay? Yeah. They go to the Falcon and they're about to take off.
She runs into 3PO.
But I mean, are they like in any way? Oh, that's right. Why was 3PO walking around? Because she hands him Chewie's gun and all that shit.
Because I think he
didn't want to stay in that ship.
He just went to go look for them.
Okay. But anyway,
I need my oil changed.
all the guys end up on the Falcon, and then she ends up back at Ochi's ship. And so Kylo shows up with a shit ton of stormtroopers and all that stuff there, and they have another fucking conversation that I don't remember.
You will take my hand.
I think it was a thing about taking her hand or something like that.
No.
You sure this isn't the
Is
hand?
this?
He offers this.
Well,
hand
yeah,
again.
he does offer his hand, but he tells her who she is.
No,
at this point,
doesn't
right?
she
Yeah.
have?
Did we skip over that?
I haven't figured out when
No,
it happens
He
yet.
tells her
Because
that
he says,
she
"I'll come
is-
tell you."
She
Yeah.
is
She hasn't
Palpatine's
gone to
granddaughter.
Get,
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
this
that's
is-
this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so he does it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She hasn't
So
gone
that's-
to get the Wi-Fi. She's no, I'm all fucked
No.
up on where we're at.
No, pay attention. So this is where he does tell her who she is. And she's like, and about this time, the Falcon pulls up outside the garage door, and they turn around and they hit thrusters, but they don't go anywhere. How's that work? Anyway, it starts blowing
E-brakes on.
everybody.
It's in neutral.
Yeah, it starts blowing everybody back, and so she does her Mary Poppins fly out to and grabs Finn's hand, and they take off. Right? God, this is such a clusterfuck. Where are we?
Kylo's magic fingers.
The rescue with the thing. Okay, so they get away. We get a throwaway scene of Hux with. Oh yeah, that's right. When they were leaving, he says, "Shoot me in the arm."
Yeah.
What? Shoot me in the arm. That
It's
was,
gotta
they
look
won't
real.
believe. They won't believe that when I tell them the story. And so he shoots him in the knee.
Like a dick.
So you see Hux, and he's bandaged up, and he's got a little cane, and he's like, "They forced me to take him," and blah blah blah, and all this shit. And so Richard E. Grant just shoots him in the chest, and he goes, "Oh, tell Kylo Ren I found the spy." So and a Hux, okay. So yeah, fuck. So they have the information from 3PO. They know where to go. They're all back on the Falcon. So they take off to this planet called Kefbir. I don't know. It's where the wreckage of the Death Star crashed, which
It's,
you thought would be Endor, but no.
Isn't it on a moon of
a
Endor?
moon.
Whatever.
in the Endor
Another
system.
moon,
Yeah.
whatever. Supposedly it's called Kefbir or whatever.
Now we get J.J. Abrams' space horses.
So now shit gets even fucking stupider.
The
okay?
Goonies knife.
Remember how I said that the fucking knife was stupid and it's gonna get stupider? Okay. So now these guys fly to this planet. Now I'm assuming I don't
The landing gear is fucked up.
I mean, the first time when C-3PO said, eyes turned red and said the thing, I was in the bathroom taking a piss. So when I watched it yesterday, I made sure to stay in for that scene, okay? And so I've seen it once, and I don't really recall what he says, but he just gives them, like, the coordinates to a planet, right? It's not super specific.
No, he says on a moon in the Endor system.
But that's it.
On this quadrant.
Oh, so
yeah.
on this giant sphere in space.
Yeah.
Go there, period. So these guys shittily land the Falcon and fuck up the landing gear and shit, and just so happen to be on the perfect fucking cliff to where she can hold this fucking thing up and it points right at the precise part of the Death Star where it fucking... Good thing they didn't land on the other side of the fucking planet. Good thing they didn't land 360 degrees around on the other side of the fucking
One-eyed
Death
Willie's
Star.
treasure.
Yeah. So she holds up this fucking knife to where it matches the outline of the Death Star, and then she pulls out the fucking magic pointer and it points at the Palpatine's apartment on the Death Star. So now she knows exactly where to go. See, this is
Somehow.
just fucking stupid, man. So I guess this Ochi guy made this knife standing on that fucking cliff, right? Because that's the only way he could get it to match up perfectly.
Yeah, he probably forged it like 4 or 5 times. Damn it!
Damn it all.
Threw it, started a whole new knife.
Damn it! So there's probably like Beskar
Yeah.
knives
So they
at the bottom of
land
the
in the
ocean.
most convenient landing spot ever for the knife to work, the magic knife to work perfectly.
You get Lando's daughter pulling up with all her night buddies.
So
on
now
their
we
horses.
get a group of ruffians on shaggy horses.
All the other stormtrooper deserters.
Well, jump ahead, Nate.
I will.
We find out that these people are all ex-stormtroopers who stole a transport and crashed it just one hill over because they managed to get some parts to try to fix the Falcon from it.
I thought they said a whole Star Destroyer was
No,
there.
they said it's like a transport
Oh.
because she hands him a Fram air filter from fucking
yeah.
AutoZone, and he says, well, this is a first order part, and she goes, oh, it's from a transport, the one we stole when we came here. Because we're all ex-stormtroopers, and he's like, really? I'm an ex-stormtrooper.
I'm FN 2187.
Cute black girl. Maybe we could, because Rose Tico got fired as my love interest, so I need a new one.
You're obviously not going to explore the Rey and me love interest anymore.
The stormtroopersonly.com.
Yeah. Troopersonly.com. So
let's make that a website, guys.
So they have this talk where, and it's kind of silly because she says, we all just laid our weapons down, just like he did, okay? But they didn't make anything of it, okay? I've heard two things that people said that are just like an additional line that would have made this better. One of them was she should have said that they were all inspired by him. Okay, like stormtroopers everywhere heard about what he did, and now they're all some of them are sort of defective because so it kind of gives him sort of a heroic arc. Mm-hmm. Because really,
give him something else other than just screaming names.
I can complain about this later, but I'm gonna bring it up briefly right now because this whole fucking trilogy should have been about Finn. Okay.
Wow.
Wait, because the prequels were about a spoiled, bratty motherfucker who came from somehow mysterious background privilege because he's special, blah, 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 and then he goes on to fuck everything up. Mm-hmm. And then the original trilogy was about a whiny, spoiled, bratty kid who came from mysterious circumstances who actually turned out to be from very important lineage and goes on to save everybody. This should have been about a fucking stormtrooper who was kidnapped as a kid and all this stuff and programmed to be this way. But then he decides to rebel, and he would have been a much better character as opposed to just another fucking good at everything person who comes out to be from mysterious circumstances and fuck. You know what I mean?
That would have been
It would have been way more. That's what I liked so much about the Clone Wars cartoon because they went into the thing about the clones and how they feel about shit and their backstories and their. I thought that was
like a small personality.
Well, they all look the same. They were all so they all like customize their armor and they get nicknames. I just thought that was all so great. And I wish this should have been about Finn. Not to say, oh, this is about a girl. Blah, blah. No, that's not what I'm saying.
This is the story of a girl.
Make Finn a female character. I don't give a shit. It's just an ex-stormtrooper. That's a much better story than just another fucking mysterious past and she doesn't know her. What are you guys doing? Are you playing fucking video games on the fucking?
No, I know exactly what he's about to do. I'm gonna let it happen, and then he can just show everybody here in a second.
I'm paying attention though. I know where we are.
It is related to the podcast.
Am I waiting for something now?
No,
it's gonna be a minute.
Fuck us, I guess.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I thought that would have been way better. But anyway, so that was the one thing where all the other stormtroopers were inspired by him. But then another thing was maybe these guys are all force sensitive too. And the stormtroopers who are force sensitive, the programming doesn't take. And they all rebel eventually.
Yeah, because they made a point and Finn had that line where he interrupted her and he's like, a feeling.
Yeah. So...
Well, do you think that's where J.J. Abrams wanted it to go?
Well, if he did a shitty job of taking it there, didn't he?
Well, with what...
The whole thing about, Finn's force sensitive, and that's what he was going to try to tell Rey, comes from a throwaway fucking interview with Chris Terrio? Is that...
No, it comes from a throwaway interview with J.J. Abrams.
Okay, so it's after the fact. Give it to us in the goddamn movie. Don't fucking tell us later on, 2 weeks later,
I was gonna say,
that's what it's supposed to be, just in case you were wondering. Make the guy say it. Fuck. They were there. You just didn't know then, did you? You didn't know, JJ, because you didn't have a plan. What'd you want, Jack?
I was just going to say maybe also Ryan Johnson kind of fucked that up too.
How? What do you mean?
Well, just because Ryan Johnson wrote 8, so maybe Abrams had something cool planned with Finn for 8.
I wish somebody would have had something planned for
Yeah.
Finn to do in 8 because all he did was dick around with Rose going to a fucking casino for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
That was just the stupidest waste of fucking time. But JJ gave us 3 main characters, so Ryan had to do something with them. Gee, this is where it just goes off. If you think about it, it's awful. Okay, where were we? Were you trying to do something that I'm supposed to?
I'm working on it.
Oh God, how long is it gonna take?
A little while.
We're gonna move on from how it was fucking relevant, and
Jesus,
we're not
what
gonna come back around.
what are we even still talking about now?
These ex-stormtroopers who were on this planet with their dumb horses. Anyway, so they're gonna help fix the Millennium Falcon, which apparently just kind of happens in the background, but.
Yeah.
We do get some scenes here where there's some tension between Poe and Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I guess Finn now is these guys are all just like me kind of thing, and Poe's I don't know what Poe's arguing
Poe's
about.
got
No,
like a stick
they're
up his
arguing
ass
about
in the
Rey.
scene.
They're arguing about Rey because she's so eager to go to the Death Star, but
Right.
Chick is like, no, it's too dangerous. We'll do it the first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And she's like, no, we got to go now. And that's when
I'm just wondering what him
Poe
and
starts
Poe are.
bitching about something, like maybe we need to concentrate more on the Falcon or something. And then that's when Finn is like, you don't know what she's going through. And he was like...
Oh, that's right. He goes, and you do? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
so
do.
does Leia. And he goes, well, I'm not Leia.
Yeah.
And he's
That's
like,
for
that's
damn
for damn
damn
sure.
sure, because probably you're gonna be in charge by the end of the movie, so that becomes relevant to what I just said. That's the only reason we're arguing about Rey on a cliff. Duh.
Yeah.
Because you don't really have a character arc, so we gotta have something in there that's foreshadowing or some bullshit. Anyway, so okay, the fixing the Falcon, the Poe and the Finn tension. All right, this is where it gets all wonky.
Yep. After this, it's just like
So-
a whole new.
Okay,
It's like
so
it's like a whole other movie after this point.
So Rey is like, okay, fuck you guys, and she goes down and steals one of their sailboat spaceships. I don't know. This thing is like a spaceship and it
A
has
skimmer.
engines,
It's
but it
called
has
a
to.
skimmer.
It has wings, but it has to float on water. It's a maybe,
It looks like one of those Y-wing things
I don't
or
know.
whatever.
So anyway, it's a boat, but it's a spaceship, and she flies it over there to the Death Star. Okay,
Space boat.
because she just can't fucking wait till morning. Because, like we said, this whole thing takes place over 16 hours. And nobody said that. She was just like, we can't wait that long. It should have said, somebody should have had a watch on going, the Emperor's going to destroy everything in like 4 hours. We got to bust some ass. But no, she was just like, no, we can't wait till morning. Whatever. Okay, so this is the whole portion where she goes up to Palpatine's apartment and she finds the GPS unit, and Kylo shows up.
She sees Dark Rey before.
Yeah, because she goes into the little hiding closet thing to the left of his.
Did
seat.
anybody notice the throwback music though?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the background
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
she like steps up there.
That
Well,
was
I
in-
just
that
feel
was
like
in
we're
the
blowing
OG.
past it, but yeah, I did
Yeah.
like the
That
whole
was in the OG
like,
trailer. That was in the first trailer for the movie.
what that music.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, the first trailer they had with Emperor's Laugh.
Anyway,
they had
I
in
thought
there.
it was
And
pretty cool.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, so then she goes in and she gets the thing right about the time that Kylo shows up. And I'm trying to think of how he knew she was there. He just figured that's where she was going because she took the knife, or
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, so he shows up and he gets the thing from her.
Mm-hmm. Because doesn't
She
it like
drop it?
shift?
She falls.
Yeah, 'cause
she's
she's in
fighting
the little
Dark Ray.
closet.
She falls.
Oh, that's
she
she
falls
has a
backwards.
vision of herself if she gave over to the dark side.
Yeah,
And
they
she-
get in a fight.
She gets the
Right.
cool ass
Dark
saber.
Dark Ray pushes her out the door. She
Right.
falls backwards. When she falls, she lets go of the Wayfinder and it rolls to Kylo's foot. He grabs it,
Okay.
crushes
The
it.
only way
And
you're getting
he-
Dexico is with me.
Yeah, and he crushes it. So she gets pissed off and they start fighting. Okay.
the water battle.
At this time, John Boyega has screamed "Ray!" a couple more times, and they. Oh, the Falcon gets fixed. and they fly over there? No.
No,
No.
not yet.
Yeah,
So-
this water is really choppy.
So
and
what's her face and Finn take another skiff over there? How do they
Yeah.
get over
Yeah.
there?
They
Oh.
take another skimmer.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chick was like, we can't go till tomorrow, but apparently now everybody's going over there on these little fucking skiffs.
Fuck
Well,
it.
Ray did it, so fucking.
Ah,
Well, Ray has the
she can do
Force.
everything.
Well, so
Finn.
can
Yeah.
All he
Yeah.
can do is
Sensitive.
kind of get a sense of somebody's in the kitchen getting cookies. What? That's all he can do. He
Whoever
can't
it
do
is, they
anything.
should bring me one too.
Okay.
No, it didn't work.
So Ray and new girl Jana, is that her name?
That's
Jana
close.
Jana. I think her name's Jana.
No, shut the fuck up, Jack.
It's Jana.
Yeah.
They get over there too about the time that Ray and Kylo spill out onto this fucking girder thing sticking out in the water.
How fucking long is that thing? Because they walk on that
dude,
bitch
I
for
don't-
miles.
I don't know,
I'm
man.
Jumping over
Those
it
two
and-
start force jumping and shit. And John Boyega's just chasing after her going, Ray! Ray! She throws his ass back at one point.
Like,
because
Yeah.
bitch, shut up.
She's like, fuck off. But at
I'm
one
concentrating.
point, she should have been fighting Kylo Ren, and she should have just fucking blocked it and been like, what? What, Finn? What do you want? Why are you yelling my name the entire... See, like in Force Awakens, when she goes, stop taking my hand. She should have turned around and said, stop yelling my name. You can't help me. You can't... It's like you're trying to warn me that I'm going to get hit by a bus. I know what I'm doing right here. I'm in the moment. Fuck off. God, it's like he keeps chasing her to give her insulin because she's going to die. It's like, dude, she's handling shit. What are you trying to distract her for?
Your diabetes.
my
Your
God.
blood sugar's too high.
So anyway, they do some force jumps and stuff. She pushes Finn back. So, they jump across a big broken section, and so Finn and what's her face can't follow them. So they just
because a
stand
big
there.
wave comes through.
Well, there was a big broken section. They jump the two. Her and Kylo jump
Yeah.
over it, so they can't.
Because
go
she
any
does
further.
she does like a backflip, and then Kylo just.
So
comes
now
behind.
they're over there fighting. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Now we get a shot of Leia back at the Resistance base. Okay. And she walks away from her console, and other people look at her as she walks away. So we get the feeling that she knows something's up. Okay.
Yeah, and then Maz says something to R2 about it.
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay, I mean, it's there.
I know, but that just doesn't make any sense. It was like, why
It's
is
gonna take all she has left.
I know. Why is she telling R2 this? It's just there's a couple portions in here where people say things to droids. What did Rey say to BB-8 that one? When she's talking about the snake and it's a bit of force energy.
Because she had no one else to
All these
talk to.
expositional lines.
Everybody was still in the fucking
is
room with her.
a
She could've
character
Yeah,
said
but
some
they
other
had
force-
something back.
to a
force-sensitive
droid.
character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I think it's just to explain things for people who aren't following.
Well, there's some other sections where they should have had a multitude of droids sitting around for people to talk to because
No,
shit gets
fuck-
really confusing here in a minute.
They'll explain the simple shit, but not the super fucking complicated
So
stuff.
essentially what Leia does is she goes into her room and lays down, and she's got
She's gonna take a little
what
nap.
I'm assuming is Han's medal
Oh yeah, Han's
Okay.
medallion from A New Hope.
from the Battle of Yavin. Him and Luke get medals at the end, and I'm assuming she's holding that because it's like the only thing of Han's that she has or whatever, and her and Han are Ben's parents, so I'm assuming that she realizes, she probably knows what's going on, and she feels like she's got to lay down and hold this thing to kind of, I don't know, strengthen her to reach out to him. I don't know why she felt like she had to do it. Apparently, somebody says some bullshit at some point in this fucking movie about I think it's Luke later on. It says there's something about at the end, her son would die at the end of her Jedi
Yeah,
path
that's
or some
that's
shit.
Luke
She
when
had
he's
a
talking to
vision.
Rey.
Okay, so that comes later. But anyway, so essentially I've heard several people talk about this, and nobody really has a complete 100% understanding of what the fuck we see happen here. But Leia reaches out to Ben and Rey are fighting, and they've been fighting for a while, and they look like they're getting tired. I guess where it's like she'll sit there for a second and she'll throw a swipe at him, and he'll just block it, and they just kind of stand there for a second and
Catch breaths.
you can
and,
tell
like-
they're kind of at a almost not
Which-
really a stalemate, but
I thought was awesome because you don't really see that in any other movie where people get like tired, like because they're fighting. So this like gave it kind of realness. You're like, fuck, like, damn.
They're going ham.
Yeah,
at
they're
each
going
other, man.
ham.
So, yeah, and at this, there's a point where it looks like Kylo's not attacking her anymore. He's just blocking and defending and shit. At about this point, Leia reaches out to him. And yeah, I guess she says his name.
Yeah.
And he sits there for a second. And
You
that's
see her silhouette.
What?
No, there's a
Yeah.
hard cut to her.
Yeah, you get a
silhouette.
Yeah,
It cuts to her.
Yeah, it gives
in
a
that
shot, and
little
she's
bedroom
got a
or
silhouette
whatever.
shot.
Okay. I thought you said he's standing there looking at the ocean and sees a vision.
No.
No. Okay. So he's like
The opacity
momentarily.
is off on it, yeah.
So he's like momentarily paused for a second,
Mom.
and this is the point when Rey murders him
In cold
in cold blood,
With
like
his own lightsaber.
like the Sith bitch she is. She just fucking straight up murders the guy who stopped attacking her like 5 minutes ago. She's swiping at him, and he's just blocking. He's not coming back at her. They're both just standing there.
What an Anakin move.
His mom says, Ben, and he stops for a second, and
Yeah,
she
Mom?
straight up stabs him in the gut. What a bitch. Anyway, so about that time, he flops down, and that's when Leia dies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then
Rey realizes.
they both register that. Okay? And so at that point, Rey's like, oh shit, Leia's dead. I guess I'll heal Ben since I just killed him. Okay, well, he's not dead yet, but he's laying there with a hole through him like Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon didn't last that long, but at least he did say something to Obi-Wan for a little while.
Train the boy.
But so she reaches down there and she heals Ben because we all know she can do that because she healed this big fucking the basilisk from the Chamber of Secrets earlier.
She's in the healing mood this movie.
She's just a healing. When she's not murdering motherfuckers, she's a straight up healer. Okay, so she heals him, and then she says some bullshit like,
I wanted to take your hand.
Yeah.
Ben's hand.
I wanted to take your hand, but I wanted to take Ben's hand. Now I'm going to take your fucking spaceship, dickhead. Bye. So she jumps in his ship, which is conveniently parked meters away, and she takes off. Okay? I don't know if Finn and Jannah are still standing on the other side of the thing, or if they just turned around and went back. 'Cause she's like, look, you can't help this girl, and she obviously don't care anything because you keep yelling her name, and she ain't. So let's just go back and get warm. So that leaves Kylo there, right? So, and apparently, Finn goes back to the ship, and they've got it fixed by this time. So, because the next time we see them, they're back at the fucking Resistance base. So, so the next thing I guess we see, it goes back to the base because everybody realizes that Leia's dead, and everybody kind of stands around. And what? What? What?
Well, okay. I thought the Han Solo thing was.
Hang on.
I thought that was before
That's
they go
later.
to the
Hang
Resistance
on.
base.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's before they go, but we get a shot of the D-list characters at the Resistance base
Goodbye,
because Leia's
dear
dead.
princess.
Yeah, Leia's dead. And they're all standing around. Oh, all those people that you don't know their names.
Slug.
The Slug
Yeah.
and the Hobbit and
Maz.
the lesbian woman and they're all standing around.
Butthole eyes.
Oh, Leia's dead. Okay, we get a little shot of that. That's all I'm saying. I
Well,
didn't skip over
well,
Han Solo.
I thought that came after.
No.
Okay.
So, okay. So now we get Rey, and she's back on Octo, the lonely planet from Last Jedi. Okay? And she's burning Kylo's ship because she's like, I'm a bad person, and I'm just going to hide here because I don't want the Emperor to get me.
But now
Pulling
everybody
a
knows where
real
that
Luke.
planet is. So
Yeah.
Pulling a real Luke right there.
Well, that's what she says to him. So she set the ship on fire and she's walked away from it and she takes the lightsaber off her belt and like she's going to throw it in the fire too. Yeah, fire and metal. That's really good. But anyway, all these metal spaceships burn really good. They must be packed with balsa wood or something.
full of fuel, man.
Yeah, fuel. Thanks,
Jet fuel.
Brian. So she throws the lightsaber into the flames, and Luke Skywalker's ghost hand reaches out and grabs it. And we get "fuck you" number 3, Ryan Johnson, where Luke says, "A Jedi's weapon deserves more respect." because Ryan Johnson had him throw it off the cliff, and that was bullshit. So anyway, so that's fuck you number 3 to Ryan. And so they have a conversation, okay? And he's like, "What are you doing?" I thought that was so very Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And so she's like, "I'm hide here like you." And he's like, I was hiding out of fear, blah, blah, blah. And they have a big
My
conversation.
character
was
progression
stupid.
was a little bitch in 8.
Yeah, what?
Look, I was stupid. Don't make the same mistake I did.
They have a conversation about this and that and the other. And he, I guess, convinces her that she needs to go back and blah, blah, blah. But she's like, "I don't have a ship." And he goes, "You've got everything you need." And isn't that what Leia said at the end of Last Jedi? So I guess that was supposed to be a throwback. You got everything you need. So she runs back into the fucking fire and pulls the Sith GPS out of Kylo's ship about the same time that Luke pulls the X-Wing out of the water. Now this was...
We missed something.
Yeah.
What? Leia's
lightsaber, man. She didn't go back for the Wayfinder until she got Leia's saber.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
In that well, I'm asking you guys for help, and I said they have this conversation where they say things. Stunned silence, and everyone's eating chocolates because I was hoping somebody had paid attention to the fucking conversation. I don't know what they said. Apparently, he says something about, "Oh, I got something for you." So this is the part where he goes and digs up Princess Leia's lightsaber. Okay. And you think, why the fuck would Luke have that? So we get this flashback where Luke was training her. And
Great CGI.
I guess it was right at the end of her training. She had done everything, and she was full-blown Jedi because she whoops Luke's ass. And then apparently she has a vision right then that her son will die or some shit that's cryptic and doesn't make a lot of fucking sense.
And
At the
someone
end
else will pick up my saber.
She said, at the end of my Jedi career, I see the death of my son.
Right. At the end of her path, her Jedi path, her son will die.
And so then she said, somebody will pick up my saber again, or this saber will be ignited again one day, or whatever.
So that's why he thinks, she'd want you to have this. So he gives it to her.
You will take both sabers to
So then she pulls the fucking GPS out of the fire, and that's when Luke pulls his X-Wing out of the water. And that was a pretty cool moment because they play the Yoda music and all this stuff, and it's pretty great.
Now, how does this thing work after being submerged in salt water?
If you remember...
How do you know it's salt water?
If you remember...
It's a fucking ocean, man.
In Last Jedi, isn't the door to his cabin one of the wings off the X-Wing?
No.
Isn't there an X-Wing door or X-Wing part that's used as a door?
It's just a big metal door.
I don't think so.
Okay. So anyway, I guess the ship is completely intact and full of fuel and ready to go. Because that's what she does.
Well, does every ship just have hookups for the Sith GPS too?
I guess, man. There's only a couple connectors. Once it got that mini USB, everybody rolled with that for a while, So she takes off in his X-Wing.
She
wanted
likes
to
taking
say
other people's ships.
you wanted to say something about Mark Hamill smiling.
Oh, I just thought that was kind of like a fuck you to Ryan Johnson.
Where?
Like when he's smiling,
When he
he's
was
pulling
raising
he's
the
raising the
after
X-Wing
he
up,
raised
and
it, he kind of gave like a smirk or whatever.
Why would that be something about Ryan Johnson?
Just because I know
doesn't Mark Hamill just not like Ryan Johnson?
I knew Mark Hamill had a horrible time on set for 8.
I think I said I don't remember if I said this on a podcast or if we were just talking about it.
We were just
I don't
talking.
think Mark Hamill has a problem with Ryan Johnson. I don't think he likes what he did to the character of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, because he said in an interview, he was like, "This not Luke."
But he's not like, fuck Ryan Johnson. He's just like, I made it clear that I didn't agree with his interpretation of what Luke would do.
Yeah, but maybe this was kind of like this is what Luke
But Disney
Skywalker
wrote me a
would do.
big ass check, so I did it anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
It's all about the money.
So, the training flashback, blah, blah, blah. Yes, in the training flashback, the CGI was light years ahead of what that travesty they gave us at the end of Rogue One. Okay. About this time, oh my God.
What are we sitting at? 2.5?
Yeah. So, about this time, for some reason, the Emperor says something to General What's-His-Face, and they blow up a planet.
Mm-hmm.
So they just say, okay, well, we're parked outside Kijimi still. So they blow it up.
Just blow it up. Fuck it.
And that's all that really is. Nothing really else happens. But you guys wanted to say something about the way the explosion looked?
It looked like one of the old school explosions from
It
like
did.
the original trilogy.
It really did. Like it was
looked
like
a cookie
noticeable.
crumbling.
It was noticeable, and I was like,
Oh,
okay,
I
they
think I
did that.
remember.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
they totally did that on purpose.
They shot that shit at it, and it kind of started to glow, and then shit cracked off,
Yeah.
and then it just, yeah. Okay, I
Yeah.
remember. I
and
remember
it
what
just
looked like
totally looked
It was
like
a-
one
it
of
was
those
a
little
nice
black
throwback.
boxes.
Yeah.
that. Okay. So,
No praxis ring.
now we're back at the resistance base, Jack. Because the Falcon gets back.
Did we skip over
What?
the
Not
Hans?
yet. Not yet.
Skip over what?
Not yet.
Okay, I just remember the Han Solo thing.
Okay, I
happened
just
before
have it
all
right
this.
here. Yeah. Almost. Okay, so right before the Kajimi thing, I guess it does. After the stuff with Leia and the stuff with Rey, it goes back to Kylo, which I thought was kind of weird editing because I was like, damn, he's still sitting there.
Grumpy
Yeah.
Gramps.
So anyway, Kylo's there, and he gets up. Oh, he's standing there, and he's looking at his lightsaber, and he's kind of looking out at the ocean, I guess, and I guess he's mulling things over. And you hear Han Solo's voice say, "Hey, kid." And so he turns around. This is the only part where I might get a little wispy here. And so somehow they paid gazillions of dollars to get Harrison Ford back.
But damn, it was worth it.
I was stunned the first time I saw it. I was just like, how did they get him?
There is a story of
I-
how they got here.
I 100%
He's uncredited too.
I 100% thought, well, of course, man, because they don't want to let the cat out of the bag. But I 100% was looking to see if it was CGI. I was like, oh my god, they reconstructed Han Solo from a computer, from ones and zeros. What?
Well, before or after the movie, people were asking.
Which movie?
This one.
Oh,
People were asking JJ, so how'd you get how'd you get Harry back? And he goes, well, it's not very interesting. I just called him and said, hey, I need you to come back. And Harry said, okay, what's my role? What's the script? So they talk about the script, and Harry's like, you know what? I really like that. I will come back.
okay. It's almost the same scene you did for Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It's just more symbolic.
Well,
now.
a lot of the dialogue's the same and
Yeah.
stuff. But anyway, so essentially, it's Kylo looking at a memory. He's basically talking to himself through a memory of his dad, and and it's the whole. I guess it's sort of a cathartic
That makes
way
sense.
of him
Why the dialogue is so similar. to
letting
its memory.
go of Kylo Ren. He's becoming Ben Solo again. So he goes back through that scene, and he does the whole. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I'm strong enough. And it's when they're done talking that he throws the lightsaber away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, Dad, it's too late.
He just says,
No.
Dad, I know.
Well, okay, now see, that's like super awesome, and I don't know if you guys even understand what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No,
He
it
was
was
gonna
his way of
say-
saying I love you.
Well, no.
I know.
It's something from.
I love you. I know.
Well, yeah.
See, Adam Driver is too good for Star Wars. Okay, I'm just gonna say that right now. He doesn't belong in these movies because he is of a caliber that Star Wars is not worthy for. Because he just says dad, and he's all kind of choked up and stuff. Because he wanted to tell him he loved him and he was sorry and shit, but he couldn't. And so then Han Solo just says, I know, because that's what he says when people say stuff and he doesn't want to say it back. But anyway, yeah, so that was just like super cool.
I love that was awesome.
And so is that when he turns around to throw the lightsaber?
Yeah.
Okay, so he turns around and he throws the lightsaber into the ocean. And when he turns back around, Han Solo's gone. So at that point,
Kylo Ren is dead.
yeah, because he says, your son is dead. And he's like, no, Kylo's dead. Because they basically replay that whole scene over, but it goes the way it should have. So now at this point, he's Ben Solo. But we just leave him there. Okay, standing there with the salty spray. And
In his
Hey,
pajamas.
and that's where it leaves.
I don't have a boat here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then they blow up Kajimi.
Yeah.
And now we're back to the resistance base.
But yeah, the fact that he was like, no, that scene came first,
Yeah.
reminded me that next scene started off with the Emperor hologram. He's like, the Princess of Alderaan has ruined my plans.
Yeah, well, how that? Oh, because she
Princess of
turned
Alderaan.
She
Kylo.
turned Kylo back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what did he need Kylo for? To bring Rey to him? Rey was gonna come anyway. Luke sends Rey to the Emperor.
Do you think he legitimately was gonna like put Kylo in charge?
If she
No,
killed
no.
he was just using Kylo to get
What if-
Rey.
Yeah,
well,
but
he originally told Kylo to just kill her, not bring him to.
Yeah,
But but I guess he supposedly see that's the problem is like
Yeah.
okay, why would he tell him that if later on, oh no, I wanted her all along. It's part of my master plan. So I
Yeah.
guess he just knew that sending him after her, there was no way he was gonna beat her, but eventually he would
he
bring
didn't
her
have
there.
the guts
Yeah.
to do it.
Well, he wouldn't have been able to because she's supposedly way more powerful because she's a Palpatine. Because she's the son of Dave Palpatine, an unnamed woman number 2 from Jakku. Anyway, so yeah, we're back at the base. These guys all show up, and somebody's trying to tell them that Leia's dead, and they won't fucking listen, and so it's
She
all
finally
tragic.
just blurts it out.
And we get the Chewie breakdown scene.
So rough.
That choked me.
That
Even
oh,
the
man.
second time.
That was basically the part where Chewie's like, "Everybody I know is dead."
Man,
It
All my
never
friends are
gets
dead.
any easier.
man.
Push me to
Even
the
knowing it was gonna happen, I still got misty eyed and choked up a bit. And I'm like, "Damn you, Chewie! Give this Wookiee an Oscar!"
So
So
this
gonna
is
give it to RDJ.
so about this point, R2D2 uploads C3PO's memory to him, which
Stops at the end of Force Awakens.
right. So C3PO has no
No
knowledge
recollection
of
of
the Last Jedi.
That
It's
is
been
fuck you, Ryan.
completely so that's fuck you, Ryan, number 4 right there. Okay, about this time they see a signal.
So that line makes more sense. That's why C-3PO is like, unless R2's circuits are
Oh yeah,
blown,
R2 got the signal first because
Yeah.
he was the one that was like, unless R2's tripping on
Okay.
acid, he's got a message from Master Luke.
Right. Okay.
he's got a transmission from.
So they pick up this signal and they're
Skywalker.
like, "Oh, it's Red 5," and Finn is like, "It's Rey, it's Rey." So she's showing us how to get to Exegol. So everybody's like, "Whoa, Exegol! Well, fuck, let's go, let's follow, let's go." Well, nobody's gonna come, and so I think Poe is like, "Well, that's where Lando and Chewie come in. They're gonna take the Falcon and they're gonna go around and blast on the radio like at the end of the Blues Brothers."
Yeah.
And they're gonna tell everybody to come out and see the show band and review.
Doctor Strange and Wong are gonna take the Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
and assemble the Avengers.
So Lando and Chewie are supposed to fly across the entire galaxy in the next 20 minutes and rally everybody to the
Hey,
the
that's
cause.
the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
That's great, but if something flies by you that fucking fast, are you gonna be able to tell what they're saying? I don't think so. So anyway,
They're just gonna do like a drive-by, like they did
Right.
in
they're gonna
Yeah.
drop leaflets,
Yeah.
leaflet bombs on planets. Really.
just
Propaganda
launch an
bombs.
They're gonna,
escape pod full of leaflets.
Light speed skip to various planets and just drop some pamphlets.
Help us! Help us!
Yeah. So
Show me what you got.
Drop me 6 boxes.
So I thought it was kind of weird that Lando is in like the same outfit from. He's got the yellow and the.
That's Empire.
It just did not look right.
That scene they tried to put Donald Glover in the same similar outfit.
I know, but I'm
in
like,
Solo.
Lando's such a flashy dude. You think the first thing he would have done was been looking for some fresh duds or something? You
Give
know?
him a paisley cape or something,
I
man.
mean, damn, why has it got to be the
No
same?
capes.
Anyway, yeah, I was like, why is Lando wearing the same clothes?
Give him a beret.
He was back on the Falcon. Well, shouldn't he have some of Han's clothes on again? None of Han's clothes are left
Steal
on the
Han's
Falcon.
jacket.
Nah, he put on a little too much weight to kind of squeeze into Han's clothes
Okay,
this
guys,
time.
home stretch here. Everybody's headed to Exegol.
Yeah.
Shit's about to pop off.
Okay. Because this is where it gets really fucking stupid. Okay.
This is where shit hits the fan.
This is where
it gets knocked
gets
into
real.
12th gear.
This is the point where I'm just like, oh, come on. Okay. So Rey gets there to Exegol.
Mm-hmm.
And she lands good old Red 5. And
Runs like a champ still.
a tramp.
Hey, fuck
and
you.
so she walks under the floating the crazy floating thing, and she goes down the elevator. Well, she gets down there and she makes her way into that. Well, she's looking at that throne, the crazy Ralph McQuarrie throne.
Yeah, the throne of swords.
So, throne of swords.
It kind of
It kind of looked like the Iron Throne.
It looked like the Iron Throne.
Dude, that's Ralph McQuarrie concept art from way the fuck back. Way the fuck back. Fucking George R. Martin was probably still in high school when Ralph McQuarrie drew that shit. Okay. So, man, you guys are going to have to help me here.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
What you got?
All I have is a line that says, Palpatine nonsense. And then the next line is, kill me. And then the next line is, fleet arrives. So fill in the blanks there, fellas.
Okay, so Ray gets there first, and she's going down, and she's looking around, right?
Yeah, I said that.
We've
Yeah.
already gotten
Right.
to that part.
So
All
then,
right.
whatever the fuck Palpatine's on, the crane or the life.
Right, he's
support
attached
system,
to some fucking thing.
The Doc Ock
it kind
arm.
of it finally just wheels around, and they have their whole conversation, and it confirms what Kylo told her, because she was like, no fucking way, fuck you, I'm not related to Palpatine.
No. I think she fully accepted it, and she was.
That's why she went to Octo. She was like,
Yeah.
"You won't get me."
Yeah, because she was
She
like, "No, you're wrong. I'm a Jedi, and I'm here
Well,
to
then,
kill you." And he's
for
like,
some
"Yeah,
fucking
that's
reason, we
what
get
I
Palpatine
want."
explaining
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah,
So now he's like, "Oh, I want you to kill me."
yeah.
That way you can run
Yeah.
the Sith
And I'm
Well,
like,
I guess
initiate
supposedly,
the final order.
if she were to have stabbed him, and then I guess all the Sith would have then gone into her, because she's the next in the lineage for all the Sith power.
And
I
they were
guess.
set like they had all those Sith troopers posted around, and then all of the Sith
choir,
ghosts
yeah.
showed
Yeah.
up. So I assumed
And
they
Knights
were
of Ren were
like
there.
in ritual mode, and then plus he was like, "You gotta say the words because then you'll be able to save your friends."
yeah, he opens up the roof so that she can
that
see
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
that the fleet's getting
He likes-
blown up and shit.
He likes showing the good guys how their fleet is getting
he
destroyed.
had
Man,
to
it's fucking
do
the same
exactly
thing.
what he did to Luke
Man,
Skywalker
I
in
was
Return of the Jedi.
Save your friend.
No, They got
Harrison Ford back to recreate a scene from Force Awakens. Well, I'm going to recreate a scene from Return of the Jedi
twice.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny because even Snoke is like, "Hey, your fleet's outside getting destroyed."
Yeah, God, these movies, man.
But yeah,
Hollywood doesn't have an original bone in their body anymore.
I'm not.
Yeah.
this is
And
about
so
You can't blame this on Hollywood as a whole. This is the big, huge clusterfuck.
so
Kathleen
we've
Kennedy's clusterfuck.
So we've gotten to the whole. She gets there. They talk a little bit
About blah 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 blah.
Yeah, he's like, your friends are here. They're getting shit on.
His plan
if you wanna
is
save
you're
them,
gonna kill me, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna enter your body. I know you don't like that, but he opens the sunroof. He's like, I'm gonna kill all your friends, but if you're in my body, you can tell them to stop
Yeah.
and all this shit.
But while this is all happening at the same exact time,
Right.
the Resistance shows up.
The resistance
with
shows
only
up
like
to
10
fight.
ships.
Yeah.
Okay, so and here's another thing that I wasn't quite sure of. I have fleet arrives, okay, and they
Yeah, but-
and their plan is because they figured this out on their own that there must be some sort of navigation tower.
Well,
So they're gonna have a flight crew that's gonna fight the ships, and Finn is gonna take the hairy horses and the other
Be
the other
the
revolted
ground.
troopers and do a ground assault on this tower. Well, General Pride gets wise to that. And he says, "Oh, we'll just shut that fucking tower off, and we'll do it from up here." So they shut the tower off right as they're about to land, and it's like, "Oh, damn!" Now somebody still should have blown that thing up because
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going to put all your effort
could
into
just
blowing
keep
the other one up,
bouncing back
and they
and
can just,
forth.
"Oh, we'll just turn that other one back on." But yeah.
God damn it.
So anyway, they're like, "Oh, it's up there. Cool. Well, we'll go up there then."
And that was another Finn being force sensitive was like, no,
It's
that's
on
where
there.
it's coming
Yeah.
from.
Looks at all of them like,
He's like,
that one.
that one.
See the one that looks
which
different?
one of these
That
things
one.
just
It's
doesn't
like-
belong here?
It's like Qui-Gon taps his shoulder. The signal's coming from up there.
So okay, so Pride, General Pride, he was on the First Order Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because he kills Hux and he's got that Star Destroyer. and they're at Exegol. So
How long have they been?
now the Emperor had his fleet on Exegol that he's been building for 30 years, and he had this tower on Exegol to navigate those ships. Now, Pride shows up in a First Order Star Destroyer, but it just happens to have a tower just like the one there to broad. Okay.
Yeah, we're all just on the same page. We just gotta accept it.
I mean, just because everything's stupid doesn't mean I'm not gonna point things out. Okay. All right. So the fleet arrives and they start.
So you were asking how they knew that the signal had to come from the thing on the ground?
They just figured it out back there. It was like there's a lot of interference. There's no way for them to navigate those ships out.
Yeah.
It must be coming from a certain signal.
like
They're going to have a
this.
tower like this one. And they pulled off a Wikipedia.
Could that have
And
come
it turns out
from
to be
whatever they
just like
got
that.
from Hux?
No,
The information they got from Hux?
I doubt it.
Okay.
So anyway, the fleet has arrived. They were going to do a ground assault and an air assault. They realized the ground assault wasn't going to work because they switched towers. So they decided to land the ground assault on the Star Destroyer that is putting out the signal.
And start blowing some shit up.
And the other guys are trying to shoot some of the other ships or something to bide some time until Lander
something.
shows up.
They're trying to blow up those planet cannons.
Now, at some point, Ben Solo gets there. And I can't remember where in the order it happens, but he shows up. He lands a TIE fighter.
I think it's after
TIE fighter.
the Resistance shows up.
It is.
I know. That's why I said the fleet is there and they're doing this shit.
Yeah.
Now, Ben gets there, right?
Yes.
Okay. In a TIE fighter.
Maybe he took it. Maybe there was one working TIE fighter left on the Death Star.
So after Rey left him and he was soaking wet and he has a vision of his dad,
in his pajamas
he
still.
walks back into the Death Star and tries to find a TIE fighter that works.
And along the way, he finds a clean sweatshirt and
No,
along the way-
it's still got the hole
It's
in
got
it.
a hole.
Oh,
It's
does
still
it?
got the hole.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
I thought he walked. There was a gap in the Death Star, and he
Showed up in his
that was-
PJs.
he was able
Death
to get some
gap.
comfy,
The Banana Republic.
some comfy
the
clothes
new
there.
Banana Republic.
Yeah.
The new Banana Republic. So anyway, I guess he found a TIE fighter that worked.
Yeah.
So
And then he utters his only line.
hang on. I'm not there yet.
Oh, okay.
So-
wow, you're not there.
So he walks under the thing and goes down the elevator.
Well, the
Oh, no, the
elevator's-
elevator was already gone. So
So
he
he
has to
jumps
jump
onto the
down the hole
chains.
onto this giant chain where he says his one line is Ben Solo. Ouch. So, yeah. So then I guess he climbs down or whatever because the next time we see him, he's walking around and the Knights of Ren come out. And he doesn't have he's got a
useless fuckers.
blaster. But I think, and he tries to like shoot one, and
He
maybe he
does.
turns to shoot another. But
Yeah.
by this time, they're on him, and they start beating him with their
Well-
junkyard clubs and whatever the fuck it is that they've got.
He
Trash can
recreates.
lids
He tries to force one away, and he shoots one, but then they start beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, he recreates the Han shot from Force Awakens where
Right.
he's not looking at. Oh, sorry, bro. Where he's not looking and pulls the trigger.
Right.
So that
But,
was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got a screenshot of that somewhere. But so about this time, I guess
So
this is about where Rey's getting her lightsaber out because she's like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And you know, he's got to say like 8 times, and now she will strike me down.
Do
and
it.
now she takes, and now
Do it.
she.
He did the same thing that he did
Yeah.
as Snoke.
And then he looks at his watch.
He was
when
like,
are you going
and
to
she will
strike me
pick
down?
up her
Right.
weapon and
Right,
point it
yeah.
at her. And yeah.
Because you guys can't see that well. You're way the fuck over there, so I'm going to tell you what's happening. So anyway, yeah, so she's got her lightsaber out, and then she kind of connects with Ben. Because Ben's sitting there and he's surrounded and they're about to beat the fuck out of him. And
she
he connects
smiles.
with her and she connects with him. And she puts the lightsaber behind her head like she's going to come down with a big whack on Palpatine. And he closes his eyes and shit. But she puts it behind her head and passes it off to Kylo when he grabbed the necklace and shit. So now he's got a lightsaber. And the whole Knights of Ren guys are all like, ooh, shit. So he...
And then
I love how he just
Yeah, he
shrugs.
shrugs. I loved that.
It was like, well,
So
Adam
he...
Driver.
here we go.
So he mops the floor with them. And
Like a boss.
God,
so
it was so awesome.
she pulls out Leia's lightsaber, which she had strapped to her back of her belt. And I guess she tells Palpatine, you know, I'm not, gonna. What does she do at that point? She pulls the other saber out, and she's gonna fight him or something, or she says, "I'm not gonna do it." Or
Well, because he recognizes, because then she comes back with no lightsaber, so then it's like the whole ceremony's off, and he starts like drawing back and stuff like that.
but then she pulls out Leia's lightsaber.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think it's at that. I think it's at that point.
That point, Ben
he
gets
backs.
there?
He backs off. No,
And he
Emperor
starts
backs
taking
off,
out.
and then she starts engaging the Sith troopers.
Oh,
that are
she has to
standing
fight those
around.
guys that are up there.
Yeah.
By that time, Ben gets up
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Ben kills the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
And then they
a
do that
boss.
cool fucking shot where you see their two faces and they both tilt their lightsabers up at the same time.
Andrew,
Yeah, that
like
was
That's
badass.
fucking badass,
he's
man.
fucking coming all over
died.
himself right there.
I want to.
I needed a new change of pants.
I need a GIF of that, and I just need it on a fucking loop as my screensaver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, fuck Captain America and his fucking hammer.
Oh, yeah.
I
like
liked
that.
that.
So at this point, they're both ready to fight him, and Palpatine just
Nope.
he just like zaps him, or
No, he pulls their
he
life out
pulls
of
them.
them
he takes the lights. You makes him skitter away or something.
He picks them up.
Yeah, that's right.
He
He
picks,
picks them
in
up,
the
and
air,
their
they're
lightsabers
like-
flop down.
Yeah, and they're just like this.
And yeah, so he's got both of them trapped.
Pulls them in.
So look, man, this motherfucker raised 1,000 Star Destroyers out of the ground, and now there's these two badass motherfuckers who are ready to kick his ass, and he can just completely incapacitate them and shit. What? I mean, he seems like he's pretty fucking powerful already.
Yeah.
What the hell? So
Maybe
anyway,
it's because he's angry.
so he's got the two of them there, and this is where he pulls out that fucking dyad shit out of his ass. Oh, look at this. You guys are somehow connected in some fucking way that we're not really gonna go into. Ooh, it's gonna make me healthy again. And he like sucks,
My fingers.
he sucks life force out of him,
Yeah,
and
because
he
he
gets
pulls
all
him close and then he lets
he
him
gets
down and
all
his fingers start growing
rejuvenated
back.
and shit, and his eyes turn yellow again, and he's like,
Didn't you say something about his eyes?
I didn't like it. I didn't like his eyes.
his yellow eyes.
Yeah,
Why? Just
they
because they were
just-
digital?
They just tried to go back to. Revenge
Yeah,
of the Sith.
I know. It just, I don't know. It just looked
Did it
off to me.
scare you?
No, it didn't scare me. It just looked off.
Aww.
Now it would have looked way better if they were on Jar Jar Binks, but you know, nobody wanted to listen to us.
I made Jar Jar Binks. An entire legion of my best Jar Jars are ready to ruin your childhood. So he drains a bunch of energy out of them and flops them down on the ground, and he's like, "Ooh, look, everybody, I'm all good again." And that's when he does his dubstep lightning, his Jamie Foxx from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
He gets rid of Ben first.
Right.
He
Yeah,
throws
throws
him
him
off.
down a
Just
hole.
as your grandfather threw me,
No,
I
he
shall
said
do the same to you.
Just as I fell,
So shall the last
shall the
Skywalker.
last Skywalker.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he chucks him off a cliff, right? And he disappears down into the void.
My hair.
Breaks
And
his
so
leg.
he dubs. I have right here dubstep lightning. Then he chucks Ben. So I think he does the lightning first, and then
No.
he chucks
No.
Ben. No,
No.
I got that backwards.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he does the
I wonder
lightning.
how,
he does the lightning continuously, and then when Rey confronts him again, he stops, and that's when Poe and everybody's like, "Oh, I got my control back."
Okay. Oh. Okay,
Sounds like
okay,
you
okay,
need to see it a third time,
no,
man.
I don't. I do not. So at this point, Rey, when he's doing the dubstep lightning, Rey tries to talk to the Jedis. Okay, this was the most disappointing thing ever. I know a lot of people. Hey, whoa, hang on. A lot of people were coming in their pants because they got to hear the actress who was made up as Ayla Secura say a line. Big fucking deal. I wanted, and all of you guys wanted, fucking Force Ghosts.
Yeah.
And we got
Voices.
nothing.
We got voices.
I was
We
okay with it.
got
We got
nothing.
I was
No,
okay. I was
no.
okay with it because of the way that the scene went. It would have been very Goblet of Fiery.
That's
okay.
what we wanted.
That's
Look.
what I wanted.
You're going to get Hayden Christensen to come out of his shame cell and actually show his face at Star Wars things
Put
and all
on that
this stuff.
Skywalker mullet again.
And all you're going to have him do is utter a line of dialogue that doesn't make any goddamn sense anymore because their emperor wasn't even dead? bring balance to the Force like I was
Like
supposed to until they retconned it right here. Fuck off, man. Give me Force Ghosts or don't give me anything.
There wasn't even a Force Ghost Yoda. Like, come on.
We got nothing, man.
We got
nothing.
We got a Force Ghost. We even got a Force Ghost Leia at the end. How the hell are we not gonna get a Force Ghost like Anakin or Obi-Wan or something? But we get a fucking Leia at the end of the movie.
Right. Why couldn't it have been like, why instead of a stupid choir of dumbass Sith up there, why couldn't it have just been like the 7 or 8 strongest Sith ghosts or whatever up there, and they could have come down to help the Emperor fight Rey, but then the fucking Force ghosts of all the badass Jedis who can clearly do shit now because Luke caught a lightsaber and lifted a fucking X-Wing, and Yoda brought down lightning and blew up a fucking tree. Don't tell me those fucking Force ghosts aren't fucking useful. They could have fucking jumped in there. We could have got an epic fucking 12-minute or so
Ghost
crazy battle royale there.
Scott, you need to be the executive at Lucasfilms. That sounds so
That's
much
what
better
we
than
all
what we
wanted.
fucking got.
As opposed to this dumbass Palpatine spouting off bullshit about this, that, and the other.
I created everything evil in this galaxy.
I've been doing all this shit
Thousands
because
of
Ryan killed
years.
Snoke, so we have to make sense of it somehow. You know, dude, that would have been way better. And you're gonna close the Skywalker saga. Give me something, man. Give me something better than.
Hey, Ray, get up, Ray. We're all rooting for you, Ray.
Rise, motherfucker!
Get the fuck up!
I didn't get thrown out of a fucking window for you to lay on the goddamn ground.
Yeah. Something. I know you were thrilled with a couple of whispery voices, Andrew, but
I
I
liked it.
wanted fucking Force Ghosts.
Hey, on our previous podcast, did I not say I wanted Force Ghosts? Yeah, but I was.
See,
I
we
was-
could have gotten a Force Ghost Mace Windu going. You're under arrest again, motherfucker.
You didn't get it.
I don't know. Maybe it was just because I really liked the way.
I liked when they flipped their lightsabers up too. That was really cool.
Well,
but after
no,
that, give me
I'm just-
something else.
I don't know. I liked it. I don't know why, but I liked it.
Well,
I also liked the
good
way
for
that they.
you.
I also liked the way that they mixed the sound in that little sequence.
I know we talk about vignetting and shit a lot, but come on, Andrew.
Come on, audio
Sound
guy.
design, yeah, that's great, but it was a
Well,
wasted
fuck
moment.
me. I guess
it was a wasted moment.
cinematography here is way more important than sound design.
No,
What
the
a-
story's way more important, Andrew. I'm
Scripts,
trying to
my
say-
guy.
So, okay, yeah, so she hears all these Jedi voices, and it inspires her to get up. And so now the Emperor is like, oh, you want to fight again, huh? So she pulls out Leia's lightsaber at this point, right? Or she already had it?
No, she has to. She
Okay.
Forced it
bring
back
it
to her.
Oh, okay, so she grabs it. No, I thought she had. Well, anyway, she's got Leia's saber, and he's like, "Oh, you want to fight?" So he starts shooting lightning at her, and she blocks it with the saber. And she's walking towards him, and blah blah blah. And so he's like, "Oh, I'm all the Sith. You can't."
And
Blah,
then-
blah. So then she forces over the other lightsaber,
And I am all the Jedi.
I'm the Jedi.
I hated
am
that
Iron
fucking
Man.
line.
Yeah.
and so
I
she
hated that
So she
line.
makes a cross with the lightsabers, and now it's so much stronger. And she walks up to him and deflects the lightning at him again,
Right into his face.
And instead of melting him and making him wrinkly, this time it completely destroys him.
Or so we think.
I can't hold it much longer, Anakin.
So now, because it was so much effort for her to hold 2 lightsabers and melt the Emperor,
She died.
she falls down dead.
And
Dead as fuck. And then you get a cutscene at the end where Kylo
So-
pulls himself out, and he's the last
So about
Skywalker.
this time,
post-credit scene.
So about this time, Ben climbs out of the fiery chasm from whence he came.
Are we going to come back to the Resistance at some point, or are we going to finish this?
You
this
see, that's
part
why I was
first?
saying it gets really sketchy here. So
Yeah.
before Ben does anything, go ahead and tell me what the Resistance did.
Well, doesn't Lando show up?
At some
Lando
point,
shows up
yeah.
with like
at some
4,000
point, sure.
ships.
When did that happen? I don't
And-
know.
And it was like Lando shows up with like hundreds
Well,
and hundreds of
At
ships.
first, they're getting their asses kicked and everybody's dying because the Emperor's zapped everybody and
Yeah.
all this. And
And
Poe
this
is
is- they
like,
hit-
and they're like, "What do we do, General?" And he's like, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys.
They at this point,
And that's when Lando shows
the
up.
ground troopers had landed on
Right.
that Star Destroyer. They were pinned down.
They
That's
turn the
when-
thing off. They
Yeah.
managed to turn the thing off. Because they get there and a BB-8 opens the hatch and they drop the grenades down and it fucks things up. But then they had to shoot the bridge for some reason.
Well,
Just to get rid of the
that
ship.
was just
I'm pretty sure that happened after the Emperor already
I
got
thought they
melted.
had ended the signal, and that's why Rose was like, we're all going to get out of here, but Finn had to stay so they could fix the turret to shoot the bridge.
yeah, but I thought that the reinforcements had arrived by that point.
Oh, maybe they have. I don't know.
Either way, we get
At-
some reinforcements.
At some point, Lando shows up with a fuck ton of people.
A bunch of spaceships, so they
Yeah,
all
so-
start
and
shooting
Carrie
shit.
Russell. Carrie
So,
Russell.
so reinforcements happen. They blow up the signal thingy. Then Finn gets advantageous. Is like, oh, let's go fucking just blow the whole thing up. And so he and his new girlfriend, his
Right.
third girlfriend, go and
I'm not gay.
yeah,
Man,
and,
girlfriend.
And then Rose is like, wait, but I was your second girlfriend.
I was
And
your
he's
first
like-
girlfriend. I saved
he's
you.
like- yeah, and he's like,
Hey,
no, no,
fuck
no,
off.
no.
Get on the transport.
then
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
you go. I'm
Ray's
gonna
to
go
the
with
back
my
of the
new
transport.
girlfriend.
Nobody
And,
likes you.
Yeah. Yeah, and so then they blow the bridge up. Rose and her gaggle of people get away, and then they're like, "Oh shit, Finn and Nameless Chick are still on the fucking blow."
Jana.
And
Blowing
Jana.
up,
Yeah,
yeah.
you said it earlier.
and
if you were
Poe
paying
is
attention.
like,
Yeah.
I'll go get him.
Yeah, and he's
And-
like, "Not faster than this
You're
shit."
not faster than me, baby. Oh, yeah. Smooth like Colt 45.
And then
Works every time.
Yeah, and then
Smooth
they're
like
all
white
happy,
lightning.
and then they start to go
Okay,
away.
and at the
Now,
same point-
at the same time,
Ben climbs
Yeah.
out of the hole.
He doesn't just reach up though. You get a loud slap.
I know.
slap it
So-
on the ground.
So he crawls over. He's all fucked up and shit.
He's all fucked
And he
up.
because of course he fell off a building.
Before you guys all shit on this next, what's about to happen? I just want to say I'm gonna let y'all do it,
I'm gonna let you
and
finish.
I'm gonna talk about how I liked it.
Okay, well,
Thanks,
okay.
Kanye.
Now, I heard that a lot of people were laughing or just thought at the utter ridiculousness or something when the kiss happens. When I first saw it, I didn't have a problem with that. My problem was that right after, and they pull away from each other and they kind of smile for a second, and then he just
Dies.
he just instantly dead, and I'm like,
Yes.
what?
Yes.
I'm like, he didn't have a nothing. He just dead.
Wonderful. I loved it.
You like the fact that he just instantly
Yeah.
died right after it.
Yeah. I think it's great.
I mean, I was fine
because-
with him dying. It's just the manner in which he did it. There was no
Well, no,
other
I just-
words. There was no slowly fade out. Nothing of her
it was-
going.
I
We were
no,
nothing.
It was just. It was all in. It was nonverbal.
I like
It-
how she
it
just
was
said
very-
Ben.
Yeah, and then it was that look, and they smiled, and then it was like, okay, he's done. I really liked it.
And that's how you end the Skywalker line right
Also, really cool how he and Leia both disappeared at the same time.
there. Yes.
Oh,
His mother was.
if we
giving
get
him
a
the
Force
edge.
Leia at the end, a Force Ghost Leia, why don't we get Ben there too? Why not
I
a
was
big old family fucking portrait? You know?
I was thinking the same fucking thing.
Well, Jack, if you look back through the history of Star Wars films, right after Jedi's fade away, you don't see the Force Ghosts right away because there's an orientation program that they have to go through.
So Leia just got through orientation faster than Ben.
I guess so.
Maybe she had already completed orientation
Yeah.
before she hung up her Jedi robes.
She got her Force Ghost card.
yeah.
I am a certified Force Ghost, but she has to keep going to classes. To
Maybe
keep
that would have
renewing
made
it.
Ray feel guilty about taking the last name of Skywalker. Then
Whoa, hang on now. Okay,
Luke
so
kissed Leia.
So Ben heals her, transfers his life energy, I
Spoilers.
guess, into her
Yeah.
because she was dead. Which only makes sense because yes, he's redeemed, he's Ben Solo, but he can't go back to the Resistance and be like, "Hey guys, I was there and I helped and it's all good. Woo, I'm Han Solo's kid."
And they all just
Hang
look
out.
at him
and everybody would just. So it makes sense for him to transfer his Force energy or whatever into Rey so
And-
that she can carry on.
And Adam Driver had such a good moment there. Just like when he like sees her and he like goes into like shock and is just like holding her for a second.
Oh, yeah.
And the look on his face, I was just like,
Yes, he's
oh,
fabulous.
Man,
he's too good for these movies.
Is it bad? I want
so
like a
good.
Ben Solo series or like a Kylo Ren
You're not gonna
series
get
on
it.
Disney.
You're not
Is it
gonna
bad
get
that I want it though?
It's not bad to like a
It's-
really great actor.
Yeah, I mean,
Just keep shelling Adam Driver money. Just keep it going.
so he brings her back and then he dies, but he fades away. So
Nothing's
he-
left but
he-
his wet pajamas.
he went back to the light side
she
and
takes
he's
them
all
with
good.
her.
So even though we don't see his ghost, he's
He's there.
He's with the good guys, even though they didn't want to show us anything. Okay, so
They fly back to the.
everybody
Rebel base.
goes back to the rebel base.
Including Red 5. Red 5
Right.
isn't here.
She lands it. She lands. Okay, so it's kind of like a little
Ray
montagey
5
thing.
now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little montagey thing back at the base. Everybody's there. People are hugging and shit and
We
stuff.
see the Ewoks.
We see. Well, is there like some clips from other planets and
Yeah,
shit?
you get Cloud City. You get.
That's right.
the
You see a Star
Ewoks.
Destroyer crashing outside of Bespin. You
You get
get
another one crashing
You
on
get
Endor.
you get one at Jakku.
one crashing at Jakku.
literally just opposite mirrored the other
You
one.
see a couple of teddy bears look at the sky.
That is actually Warwick
I know.
Davis
They actually flew in
Man,
the original
yeah.
guy to be in the suit.
for 5 seconds.
He's been in like every Star Wars movie then.
I know, but still, it's
Yeah.
just like
just as one thing or
couldn't
another.
we have just turned two puppets to look? We
Yeah.
had to have a guy in a fucking suit that we had to make.
Hey, no one can be Wicket but Wicket.
When I saw the Ewoks, I was ready. I was like, show me the Gungans.
Oh,
It's
no, dude.
gotta happen.
No.
Show them.
No. Nope.
Show me Naboo.
Nope. So we get a couple of things here. We get the
Hobbit hugging us.
Mary Doc Brandybuck hugging the giant slug Claude.
He so should have pulled out of that hug, like covered in like a layer of slime or something.
And then they're
Damn.
just like, clog.
We get Commander Daisy. She kisses her girlfriend, the pilot, for like
her favorite.
for like a half a second on
And-
screen.
the
which
world
is
is-
apparently the biggest deal in the world.
See, I didn't give a shit about that one. I was more so taken aback by the Ray and Ben kiss.
Loved it. It should
Yeah.
win an MTV
Anyway,
Kiss Award or whatever.
and Chewie gets his medal.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was stupid that Maz walked up and said, "Chewie, this is for you."
Leia would have wanted you to have this.
That's not what she says.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that's what she
is.
says.
Does she?
Yeah.
Leia would have wanted you to have these.
But she says, "This is for you."
No.
She does say that. Maybe she says both fucking things, but she says, "This is for you," because I was like, that's kind of stupid. She should have just said, "This was Han's. I think Leia would want you to have it now," or something. You know, it should have been some recognition there, but she just kind of is like,
Well, I
"This
think,
is for you."
You assume it's Han. It could be Luke's.
no,
Why would she have
stop.
Luke's?
Stop.
Han
I'm
was
just,
her.
I'm just being.
I think that he knows what it is.
I know, but it's
Well,
just the
yeah,
way they
but-
said it to us.
Yeah,
Man.
because they fucking forgot him. They
Yeah.
didn't give him a damn medal.
Now, if
We all know.
Chewie shows up in anything that takes place after this
He's
new
gotta
trilogy,
be wearing
he's
the
got to be
medal.
wearing that medal everywhere.
Yep.
Come on, why would
Nobody
he?
else was.
Yeah, Han didn't wear his medal. Luke didn't wear his medal.
Neither
Why
them
would
really give a
Chewie
shit.
wear it?
Because it's his best friend,
In the-
man.
That's why he would keep it in his pouch or something safe. He wouldn't. I don't know. In the comics, Chewie got a medal, but he gave it away to somebody else. So I don't.
It's a Beskar medal. Someone shoots him, it takes the force, and he goes,
This nice Beskar you have right there, Wookiee.
So after
Show me the medal.
so after everybody hugging and kissing and doing their celebrations,
yup, nup.
it just hard cuts to Tatooine, right? There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to Tatooine. You
Okay.
see Rey do
Oh,
a sled
you get
thing.
the Lando Jana thing
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. Okay,
I'm
yeah.
From the gold system.
from the gold system.
Does he say
Where
gold
are you
or
from?
What about you,
Gold, or-
kid?
I don't know
I thought
what
he
he-
said gold.
I thought
don't
he
know
said
what he
gold
says.
too.
Okay, anyway.
Where are
So
you
then-
from?
Are we supposed to
kid?
imply that
That's his
Yeah,
daughter.
that's a
They're
big
related
thing.
somehow?
Apparently,
Oh,
apparently
is it?
she's his daughter.
oh.
That is apparently like been said.
Yeah. I think J.J. Abrams said it somewhere.
Yeah.
In that same interview where he was like, but that other guy, he's fucking force sensitive.
In that chick, Janet, Lando's daughter.
Lando's daughter. Yeah. Okay, whatever. So, all right, we get the end scene where we're back at the Lars homestead, which someone has refurbished and repainted because last time I saw that bitch, it was on fire.
But it's full of sand now.
That's fine, but it looks still, everything's all white and shit, so it's just, that's not right. And Rey shows up and she takes Luke's saber and Leia's saber and wraps them up in a cloth and buries them there. Now, and then she stands there and an old woman is there and says, "Well, anybody been around these parts for a long time? What's your name there, sailor?" And she says, "Rey." And she goes, "Rey who? Everybody's so busy about the fucking last names in this shit." And so she looks over and sees Luke and Leia's ghosts, and she says, "Ray Skywalker." And then she walks over to look at the twin sons, and that's it.
Oh,
Well,
Oh, fuck, everybody. Hang on. Everybody wants to jump in.
I go first.
That's all you've wanted us to do.
I want everybody to talk, but I don't want everybody to talk at once. We need a little order here.
Rey shows her new lightsaber,
Right.
which is made out of bits of her staff.
Right.
And it's our first yellow lightsaber, which
Okay.
I thought was bad.
that was
First yellow lightsaber in the movie.
Cinematic.
Cinematic, yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, when she said Skywalker, I kind of cringed a little. I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
Me
Yeah.
too. What were you going to say, Andrew?
He's going to disagree with us.
You were
He's
ready
like,
to jump in. What were you going to say? When everybody started talking, and I said, wait, everybody take your turns. Now what were you
I
going to
was
say?
just going to talk about the lightsaber.
Oh, okay. So...
Sorry, man.
Oh, no.
Now, I don't want to throw this away, but there's a lot to unpack here. Okay? First off, why would she bury Leia and Luke's saber there?
Because
Because
it all
it's their home-
began.
it's where it all
Leia
began.
was never there, so the place is not significant
Well,
to her.
Alderaan doesn't exist anymore.
And Luke hated that fucking place and just wanted to get the fuck out.
I guess it's the only
Well, it's the-
physical. It's the only physical place where there are still technically like Shmi Skywalker is buried there.
But she married Klieg Lars, so she ceased to be a Skywalker.
Oh my god! How do you know that the legal system in, the,
I don't
in
know.
that
How-
galaxy
how do-
is?
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
just
then-
like
'cause then
You're
she would be
counting that
general-
as the Skywalker base of operations because
I'm
Le-
just
if that
saying
was the
it's
case,
where
there
Leia would
for-
be
it's
General
still like
Solo.
I just think
Right.
that like that land has Skywalker family ties.
okay.
And like there was that whole like Anakin was there for a while.
So did anybody for like a day?
Yeah.
Did anybody get a sense when you first saw that she was gonna go and live there?
On Tatooine, yeah.
No.
I thought she was going to stay on
No.
Tatooine and live there. Not
No.
at the homestead, but on Tatooine somewhere.
And you did. She was just there to bury the sabers.
yeah.
I thought that
To-
was going to be her
To
resting
put
grounds.
no, I thought
Nate?
she was.
I did not
Stop
get
working
that.
on it. Not get what?
I didn't get the feeling that she was going to live on.
Okay,
No.
but you did.
Did you?
I didn't know what the fuck was going on when I first saw her slide down in there and looking around at the kitchen and
Are
shit.
you talking
I
like,
was
her move into like the Lars homestead?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Okay.
I thought she
she's
was gonna
just
move
there to
Tatooine.
bury the. Why? Why do you think she's going to move to Tatooine? Because see, here's the
Doesn't
thing.
she have BB-8
She
with her?
just got
Right.
off a sand
Well, hang
planet.
on. Here's the thing. She shows up in the Falcon, which I've clearly said belongs to Chewbacca now, and she's got BB-8, which is Poe's droid. Why the fuck does she have the Falcon and BB-8?
She's stealing shit,
On
man.
fucking
She's
Tatooine.
stealing everything. She's like, I'm taking these fucking lightsabers. I'm taking this droid. I'm taking this ship.
She is such
Kiss
a
my
rogue.
ass. I just saved the fucking universe.
She is a
Suck a
rogue,
dick.
man.
So,
Only looking out for
Uh,
herself.
see, I don't... Okay, this is supposed to close out the whole thing,
It doesn't
but there's...
at all.
I would have liked...
Well, of course it doesn't. You think they're just gonna bury their biggest fucking wallet? Like I
There
don't.
are so many
I mean,
unexplored
look,
territories
I'm
in the
not-
Star Wars
I-
universe that don't involve the fucking Skywalkers.
They have just created a generation of children that
Okay.
love this female Jedi named Rey.
well, there's great female Jedi called
I-
Ahsoka too, but we don't fucking get her in cinematic shit.
I don't need...
I-
I don't need my characters tucked into bed tidily at the end of a movie, okay? I loved Gravity. At the end of the movie, she gets out of the water, she stands on the beach, credits, okay? When I showed that to my mom and dad, my mom was like, "That's
I
it?"
hated it.
And I'm like, what more do you need? She made it. So, but this movie is supposed to wrap up this saga. I mean, all the oppressors are gone. What the fuck's everybody gonna do now? And
Joke's on you, I'm not dead.
Oh, I would kind of like to
Back
know.
for
I
more.
mean, what are these people gonna do? What's Poe gonna do now? What's Finn gonna do now?
He's
What are
gonna
these?
go back to being a spice
They
runner.
don't have they don't
Yeah, 'cause
have
Kerry Russell
employment
was
as
there.
resistance fighters anymore because they don't need that. What's
Poe's gonna go and get his happily ever after with Kerry Russell.
no, because he gave her that kind of subtle.
What,
she
a
was
kiss
like,
again?
no, I think not.
That's
Yeah.
when Finn should have swooped in and took her arm and been like,
Hey,
give
what's up, girl? Oh.
him
Yeah.
Poe the middle finger.
Then he could have had 4 love interests and Poe
So,
none.
yeah, all kinds of them.
Him, my bitches.
So,
Star Wars. Finn and his bitches.
yeah. So in a way, it just didn't. It didn't seem to wrap it up. And
they were
how are
like-
you gonna say it concludes the Skywalker saga when you take this character who
And
now
name her a
who
Skywalker.
now knows who she is and is confident in her abilities and all this stuff and is
That
ready to
was
go
my
out and
biggest
have
complaint.
50 more years of adventures, and she claims Skywalker as her name, and now it's just over?
Right, the Disney Plus series coming in 2022.
I don't know.
Skywalker
man.
is what they'll call it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I really liked it.
What?
See,
Just
now that
the
we
whole
talked
thing.
about it, I want to give her a lower grade. You
Oh,
point
I-
out
See,
all these
that's
fucking
exactly
I
what
kind
you
of,
did.
I kind of want to go B plus now, honestly.
Now look,
I'll trade you.
I mean, the first time I watched it, it just all flew past my eyes. And other than when everything gets to Exegol, and I'm just like, oh, this is just too fucking much.
you know-
I really liked it, and I thought it was great. But then,
Somebody
like, as I go back and look at it, I'm just like I said, if you stop to think about it, you're like, what?
Yeah.
What? You know, and I said it before. I was like, you know, JJ was under the gun. Colin Trevorrow had already wasted a ton of time and production
money.
and stuff, and it was just like he did what he had to do, and he did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
Because Ryan painted him in the corner,
a good
he was out of
Band-Aid.
time. But it is very much a balsa wood model bridge held together with bandages and fucking chewing gum, man. And if you start to pick at it,
It's gonna
it
fucking fall
falls
over.
apart.
Somebody posted on Reddit, like when the movie first came out, they were like, man, I'm sure glad that J.J. Abrams did a good job attributing this to Carrie Fisher in the fact that this is paced like a cocaine binge.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
And I was like, holy shit.
she got top billing on this movie.
On IMDb, she's got it too.
Top billing. Yep.
Now, I never knew if you wanted to be top build or last build, because you always see movie posters where it's like,
Well,
and big name at
If
the
you
bottom.
can't be top billing, you want to get a with or an and be last, because you got the with Ian McDiarmid and Billy D. Williams. They were both at the end.
Does that mean Billy D. Williams is better than Sir Ian McDermott?
I think he got signed up after, so he was able to negotiate something. I don't know.
Let me get the end,
Maybe
and let
it's
him get the
alphabetical.
with.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Wouldn't. Well, okay, last
Williams,
name. Last name.
McDermott.
I was gonna go by first name.
William December Williams.
Whoever sorts names by first names alphabetically. Have you read a
Look at me.
phone book before?
What's a phone book, Andrew?
No, I've used a phone book before. Way back in the day, trying to call Pizza Hut before I had a smartphone.
I'm surprised I haven't seen videos of children like, can you believe that people read this book one day to see what number to call?
So,
I just
Google it.
is that episode 9?
I
It
guess,
needs to
man,
be.
because everybody wants to leave.
I'm down
How
to keep
long has
talking,
this
though.
podcast been?
It's my day off. I ain't done shit today.
It's my day off. I haven't done shit
I had
today.
the
Went to the
ace.
arcade for like 4 hours.
What?
Yeah, went to the arcade today for like 4 hours.
4 hours in an arcade?
Yeah.
Did you have like a wheelbarrow full of
No,
quarters?
all the machines are on free play. You pay $10 and you get an all day pass.
Jesus.
So my buddy Chase and I went.
Unless, unless you're playing Injustice, then you gotta pay a quarter.
Not at this arcade. They fixed that. Yeah.
Are you
They have a
fucking
VR.
kidding
They
me?
have VR. They have Rock Band. They have like all these new systems too. It was awesome. Chase and I beat an entire Time Crisis game.
So that's the Rise of Skywalker. We had so much fun with it. Do you guys want to do another Star Wars movie at some point or what? What's the plan, man? We've got 10 months until The Mandalorian, so...
but only 2
What's
months
our
until the
plan?
first Marvel show, right? The first Marvel show comes out in February, right?
No, it comes out.
Clone Wars comes out in February.
That's
and
what it
that's
is.
all I'm worried about.
So, if we do a one Star Wars movie a month, we can make it to the Mandalorian.
A month?
Dog, we've been doing weekly shit.
I know, but
We can't just go from weekly to monthly, bro.
We'll go weekly, monthly.
We gotta grow. We can't just have Reed and JT listening.
Well,
Both of our listeners will get upset.
Well, I think that if we want to do that, then I mean we're eventually gonna run out of Star Wars stuff to
Right.
talk about.
So we have to...
Stretch
But,
it out.
I mean,
Marvel movies.
if we're going to do the Star Wars movies, which one would we do next? Are we going to go in order of release or chronological order? Which
Especially
way do we go?
chronological.
I'd like to go chronological.
That's two chronologicals. What do you think, AJ?
Whoa.
It's what your mom wanted you to be called.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
no, it's
Drew. Oh, it was Drew.
You're gonna call him Drew.
I hope she listens to this.
Anyway,
Release.
ooh.
Ooh.
So now it's up
Because
to...
that-
well, but
because
even if I said release
would-
order, we're still
Yeah,
tied.
I say
Oh,
release.
you should do a Twitter poll after this.
I don't know how to do a Twitter poll.
He can
But
show you.
then what if
Okay.
JT and Reed both are two
Well, then,
followers?
but then
Okay.
we can all do it too because we all
We'll
follow.
do
We're
it-
at a stalemate.
Okay, so we'll do a Twitter poll. That'll go up at some point. Somebody can show me how to do that here after the
Yeah.
podcast.
I don't know how to
I
do a
don't
Twitter
use
poll.
Twitter.
He's done a
I'll
Twitter
show you.
poll.
Okay. So
I just got
uh,
back on Twitter.
So okay. So we'll do a Twitter poll, and that will determine if we go in chronological order or an order of release.
And where can people reach us on Twitter?
People can find us on Twitter at RC Pit Crew.
Where can they reach us for email?
They can email us at razorcrestpitcrew@gmail.com.
And if you want to send us stuff,
We do not have a P.O. box. We do not have a Patreon. You will never hear this podcast sponsored by Movement Watches or Angry Birds Game. So,
But
there
if
you
someone
go.
does want to
Movement-
sponsor us,
Movement does sponsor some pretty good podcasts, though.
Dude, Movement Watches suck cock.
They do.
Okay?
I'm gonna go
Movement
pee.
watches
They're
suck
not-
dick. They're
They're not
pieces
the
of
best.
shit.
They're not the best watches, but they do sponsor some pretty good
They are
podcasts.
crap.
I listen to.
There's now proof of you on a podcast that mentions movement watches sucking on the internet.
Movement Watches suck. What are you, a big Movement Watch guy or something?
No.
He's a big Rooster Teeth fan, and
So,
one of their
Movement
sponsors
is a big
is Movement
sponsor for
Watch.
them.
Yeah, that's just because... I'm not going to... Look, movement Watches are pieces of shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen them. They don't look
They're
the best.
$5 watches from China.
For $100.
They're selling them to you for $200.
I thought it was
Okay,
just 100.
dude.
Still,
It's still a
They-
lot of money.
They have
regardless.
plenty of different ones, and they buy them on Alibaba for at 200, 2,000 at a time, and they sell them to you for stupid amounts of money. They're crap. Okay, they are crap. They have chronographs with no markers.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? They're fashion watches. They're pieces of shit. You might as well put a quarter in a fucking machine and get a watch
Just
out
like
of
to
it.
go on record that I wasn't saying that I
what
like
did you
watches.
like
I was
about
just-
him?
I
I'm
like
a watch
the-
snob, people. I
I
know
like
about watches. Those
the
are pieces of
podcasts that
shit.
they-
And anytime I hear a podcast say something about movement watches, I'm like, look, okay, you may be a cheap shill that's in it for the money, but those are pieces of shit watches.
Okay.
I don't care how much money they want to throw at me. I'm not going to fucking ever do an ad for them. Fuck that. They're crap.
Hey, Movement, I'll
Have
do
a
an
little
ad for you.
integrity. No, you won't do it on this fucking podcast. You'll be fired.
Ooh, you still have the receipt for that fourth
That'll
mic
become
and
the
headset.
backup microphone.
Pretty sure JT would call you guys up and be like, "Let me be on the podcast." He keeps asking me every time. He was like, "Can I guest on
I've
the
got
podcast?"
friends too that are like, hey, if you ever wanna.
Damn. That's funny.
JT was so salty that we didn't recognize that the Mandalorians that saved
Death
Mando
Watch
were the Death Watch.
Yeah, man, it's been forever since I watched Clone Wars, and I don't remember little nuggets like that. I read something like a day after the podcast, and I was like, oh, okay, that's supposed to be Death Watch. And then I saw a comment from him where he pointed that out and was mad that we didn't know it. And I was just like, I don't know everything, dude. God, it's been... God, how long has it been since I watched Clone... Like, I was really into Clone Wars the first
when it came
go
out
around when I watched it and stuff.
Cartoon Network.
And then we pulled out the good episodes.
It's
and
been a
rewatched
long time, man.
Yeah, it's been since my sophomore year of college.
Yeah, I was going to say...
No, longer than that when I first watched it and was totally into it.
Probably we were both all in high school.
I didn't even have this house. I didn't even live here when I first watched Clone Wars.
What?
I was going to say, at least you and I were probably still in high school.
It's like the three of us weren't in high school all together.
You and I were.
For 1 year.
And then we were at college together for a year.
Oh, yeah, I guess we were.
I only remember that because I started vaping at that point, and he'd always text me, and he'd be like, "Hey, just smelled some fruity ass vape juices. Are you close by?"
Yeah. It's like, "Hey, are you at the KUC? I smell this like cotton candy-ish like aroma in there."
I'm like, "No, student union."
That's funny, guys. Okay, so incoming Twitter poll. You can vote for chronological order or release order. And we'll figure out a time to do the next one once we figure out what you guys want.
So we just ditching the idea of doing The Witcher?
I don't know. Everybody was like, nobody plays the games and we don't know anything. I was cool with doing it, but I mean, if we're going to do Star Wars movies, we'll do Star Wars movies.
Well, if we do a weekly one like we've been doing, we'll run out of Star Wars movies.
I don't know if I can do a weekly one. We're about to pick back up at work, so...
Last time you said, I'm all in.
Oh, no, I am.
Well,
I
we
just
like,
I don't want to, like...
Andrew's friends want to be on the podcast. Maybe we just have a rotating seat.
I'm not gonna rotate people in and out, no.
But, I mean, like, you know, Nate was saying if we did one a month, or... but I don't know if you want to wait that long.
It's just the logistics of it, organizing and shit.
I think it would for sure be easier for us to find one day.
It would, but you said once a month, so that means for 29 days I gotta keep asking and keep asking and keep asking until I can finally get everybody for one day, and then I gotta start asking and asking and see. Here's the thing, okay? I have a pool in my backyard, and all my friends know that I have a pool in my backyard. But I can't call my friends every weekend and ask people to come over, okay? And some of my friends are like, well, I don't want to come over unless you ask me. So those motherfuckers never come over and swim in my pool, okay? Because like I said, I can't call people every weekend, okay? You know I have the pool. We're friends. Call me and say, hey, man, what are you doing next weekend? Well, I'll bring some hot dogs and we'll cook out and we'll jump in your pool. And I'm totally down with that, but... So
gotta make the effort.
So it's the same thing for you guys. It's cool if I call you and say, "Hey, let's do a podcast," and you would check your schedule and say, "Okay." But until everybody says okay, I have to keep asking and asking and asking and asking and asking. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You see why it's? You think once a month, easy. Not for you.
If we switch to once a month, then I feel like we're just gonna fall off. And I really enjoy doing this.
Wow, I just felt deja vu. That's weird. Anyway, continue.
I was just saying, I feel like if we go to once a month, it's gonna fall off, like scheduling wise and stuff like that. So I'd like to keep it like the way we've been doing it, where it's like we go.
I realize that people have difficult schedules.
Yeah.
And if you're picking back up, you're gone on weekends too. Sometimes too, right? It's not a given that you would be home on a weekend.
It's a toss up
if it picks up.
Like I mean, for example, like I'm going out of town next weekend.
Right.
The weekend after that.
Right.
And most likely the weekend after that.
Right. But like weekdays, you still might be good.
Yeah,
right?
like in the evenings, because I leave the shop at 6.
So you don't have to go back to school until like the 21st. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm always good on the weekend. He's always good on the weekend. You could maybe finagle a weekend, but like if we've got to where we're all good on a weekday, we can maybe try to do that for a while.
And I mean, you get weekdays off.
Yeah, the only reason I only had one day off this week is because of New Year's Eve and we all worked. But so normally my days off are Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay, so we'll try to work something out. We'll do a Twitter poll and we'll plan on either The Phantom Menace or A New Hope being our next one. And we'll do it. We'll try to do it within the next 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe next week if we can swing it. But if not, let's try for the next week.
What day is today?
Today
Today's Thursday.
is Thursday.
I keep forgetting.
Second? Third? Second?
It doesn't matter, but it's a Thursday.
Yeah.
So when you find out what days you have off next week in the
I'll
evenings,
text you again. Saturday night.
you find out what your availability is
For next week.
And if we can make it happen, we can make it happen. If not, we'll push it off a week, but then we need to be real adamant about trying to figure out and nail down a day for that next week. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Twitter poll incoming. That was the Rise of Skywalker. You have our grades. Maybe you agree with us. Maybe you don't. Send us an email. Hit us up on Twitter. Put a comment on this video. Do something.
Hit us up, man.
What do you think?
Just do it.
What do you think, huh? Say something. Tell
it.
us. Engage. Let's start a discourse here.
Like
it.
and subscribe.
Hit that little bell if you want
Troll
to.
us.
Yeah.
Hit that bell if you
Please.
want to get notified every time we post a video.
Oh man, I'll go over the specs with you guys for monetization. So you're not gonna believe it. Okay, so this has been Once Upon a Time in the New Republic, the show where we normally talk about the Mandalorian,
But we didn't this time.
But we didn't. Till next time. Have fun.
I have spoken.
Bye.
Thanks for
Shut the
listening.
fuck up.